With the BMW R18 Classic, BMW is launching an R18 that has been upgraded with touring functions. Strictly speaking, the Classic is more of a tourer than a cruiser. What it feels like and what the differences to the standard R18 are, Volker and Dietmar found out during an extensive test drive. We already tested the standard R18 in 2020, by the way. It was the first German test magazine at the time. In this review, we will therefore limit ourselves to the differences between the standard and the Classic. The engine, chassis and technology of both machines are largely identical. At first glance, the Classic looks a bit larger than the standard. It has the removable windshield and the two well-made side bags as standard. You can also look forward to the pillion seat, which is not exactly large, but is still comfortable. Too bad, there are no grab handles for the passenger except for a strap. In addition, there are the two LED auxiliary headlights on the Classic, which give the bike a slight US police touch. Cruise control is also standard on the Classic. So everything you need for longer distances is already on board with the Classic at no extra charge. BMW has been very consistent. If you were to add the additional parts of the Classic to a standard R18, you would get about €24,670, but there would still be a few small but subtle differences, such as the modified rear silencer. Anyway, all in all, the Classic for €23,955 is the slightly better deal, at least if you want the touring accessories. In any case, after the seat test, it is clear, the Classic is a huge motorcycle and, at 365 kilograms, even 20 kilograms, heavier than the standard R18. It's not quite clear to us where these extra kilos come from, presumably the very long exhaust has a say in it. Maneuvering is correspondingly difficult with the debris. Pushing back on only a minimally sloping road is a real feat of strength. It's a good thing that BMW provides a reversing aid. This costs almost €1,000 extra, but in our opinion it is almost a must. Technically, there are no differences between the R18 and the Classic. Both machines have three riding modes: rock, roll and rain and, of course, ride-by-wire. As already mentioned, the Classic has cruise control on board as standard. We find it somewhat surprising that BMW has decided to use the standard buttons on the R18 models as well. This is probably due to financial and logistical reasons, but somehow these rather modern-looking switches don't quite fit the bike, at least we think so. In terms of lighting, the R18 Classic is right at the forefront. Full LED, optionally available adaptive cornering lights and the two additional LED headlights not only look great, but also ensure an illuminated road and good visibility. We don't like the fact that the rear and brake lights have been integrated into the rear turn signals, but of course it's somehow stylish. The driving experience of the Classic is similar to that of the standard R18, similarly sovereign. Feet on the running boards and off the Fox goes. If you want to, the Fox really goes off, because 158 Nm of torque at 3000 Nm means nothing more than propulsion without end. However, fast acceleration is of course not exactly the purpose of the Classic, although it is of course reassuring when touring with pillion if you want to overtake a truck. Of course, you can also cruise with this bike. When started, the monumental 1,800 cubic centimeters Boxer shakes like in the best of times, but once you get going, you can also glide along casually. The wind protection is okay, but there was noticeable turbulence on the helmet from 120 km/h upwards during Volker's motorway drive. The windshield offers good wind protection for the upper body, but you still prefer to drive up to 110 km/h to have your peace and quiet. Another difference to the standard R18 is the 16-inch front wheel of the Classic. The tire is almost bobber-like with a high sidewall, and this actually feels different in corners than on the standard. We can't say if it's worse or better, it's just different. We were happy about self-resetting turn signals and keyless go. The exposed shaft drive is a real eye-catcher, and the claw-shifted 6-speed gearbox also convinced us. In terms of quality, everything about this bike is just great, which was to be expected at this price. The BMW R18 Classic is a fully equipped cruiser tourer that can also be used for a longer journey as a couple. In contrast to an adventure bike, the luggage capacities are limited, but nothing stands in the way of a longer day trip on Route 66. This bike is simply an impressive piece of engineering due to its sheer size and performance. We would also like to have them in the garage.
Drei, zwei, eins, 0. Ja. 3 und los. Oh. Ja, das dauert ein bisschen. Die Maschine ist natürlich sehr, sehr lang übersetzt.